They say it's going to be a minimum of 45 minutes until any buses are able to reach Bellevue or the Orchard stations to shuttle people around from that point. And obviously, you can't have the buses moving very quickly when nobody else is moving very quickly around this scene down here in the Denver Tech Center. So you're getting closer and closer from Air Tracker 7. Again, that's the Orchard Bridge, the pedestrian bridge. That would be the access from Orchard to go north on I-25. And that's the southbound lanes there. This is that residential building right there at Landmark. Yeah, at the Landmark. And so just when we clear the building, that's why you see that thick black smoke. It's from the fuel that's burning. And typically, if you're seeing burning like that, it is from fuel. And we also could tell, you could see how it was flowing here. Look at the fuel is burning here on the southbound lanes. And it definitely, the firefighters have pulled back and just waiting for this to burn out a little bit. There is a front loader. Looks like he's trying to either scrape something or get ready to scrape something off the road there. Well, but that is just dramatic pictures there from Air Tracker 7.
Yeah, now that Air Tracker 7 is up and above, you can get such a different view of the fire that we're dealing with. I mean, you cannot even see that fuel tanker.
Yeah, it's right. So that would be the cab trailer, right there.
The cab?
And then this, so in these fuel tankers, it's not. I wouldn't say it's one of those semi-tank. I would say it's one of the smaller ones. That's the way it looks to me, where it was the cab is attached to it rather than it's a detachable tanker that goes onto the front of a tractor. But you can see obviously the damage, but that is just tremendous damage there.
That cab is completely gone.
Yeah, and you can see how it's starting to eat away at the concrete here because it can get hot enough to start changing the structural integrity of those of these center barriers of the concrete there, and obviously of the asphalt. You heat up the asphalt enough, and if it's warm enough, like on a real hot day, if you're in Las Vegas, you can take a screwdriver or something hard, and you can push the asphalt.
Right.
So if you're burning the asphalt, you can actually change its dynamics and actually move it around a little bit. So that's why CDOT is going to be concerned that we're going to have lanes closed for some time and significant road damage and obviously damage to that center barrier. And it could take days, if not weeks, to fix that. And so it's just going to be unclear about how long it's going to take for them to fix this and to get this right again.
Which unfortunately means your evening commute, if you do usually take I-25 through the Denver Tech Center between Bellevue and Orchard, plan now to take some additional way because it does look like some lanes may be closed down through this evening's commute. CDOT saying this could be a very lengthy repair, unclear how long that's going to take, but you can see how intense this fire is burning. Right now, crews were a lot closer to that fire. They were really trying to extinguish it with some water. They looked like they were making a decent job at getting it, and then the fire just took off again. So they have now kind of backed away from the area, obviously still staying there just to make sure everyone is safe. We do want to go now to an eyewitness who works right nearby in one of the buildings, was able to see this as it happened. Chris Modlin joins us on the phone right now. Chris, thanks for joining us. What did you see?
It was quite an amazing sight to see. A large truck started smoking between Orchard and Bellevue, heading on I-25, and as you see it smoking, he happened to lose his brakes and slam into the median. From slamming into the median, instant flames engulfed the entire truck as the driver was still in the truck. For about 5 to 7 minutes, actually probably less than that. Literally, the other road crew were able to help pull the gentleman out of the truck as his leg was engulfed in flames. One of the one of the road crew was able to help put out that flame on the driver's leg and kind of carry him to safety. As that was happening, the entire truck was being not only leaking that fireball hazard bio-waste onto the highway, but was catching in complete flames. So for that gentleman, whoever that may be, to save that gentleman's life, and really a heroic act. So thankful to the Denver road crew from that. And then as you saw, the flames continued to just engulf and catch on fire as the explosion started to go off. And there was about 3 to 4 multiple large explosions with tires flying in the road. It was quite a scary sight to see.
So the road crew, were there people doing work on the interstate right there that just happened to be there to help the driver?
It appeared to be so, or as the construction on I-25, they may have saw what had happened and drove up to come help. The fellow, so it was one of the two, but it was great action on those people.
Well, thankfully they were there to be able to help them. So you says it looks as if this possible tanker lost its brakes and just slammed into the median.
Yeah, it was either something had caught on fire or they had lost brakes. Something malfunctioned with that truck that it was engulfed in black smoke and then started on fire as he slammed into the median.
Well, we are still watching. The firefighters are now moving back in a little bit closer into this fuel tanker, but we can see massive flames. Thankfully, the road crews were there to help that driver get out, but you said he was on fire as they pulled him from that cab.
That is correct. His right pant leg, I believe, was engulfed in flames, and you could see him. He looked like he was in pain because he tried to get up and then fall right back down. I mean, that other gentleman, why that truck was completely engulfed in flames, ran right next to him, right in the heart of the danger, and really helped put that fire out and securely get that man out of harm's way.
Well, we have been told that that driver was transported to the hospital. His condition right now is unknown. We don't know how serious his injuries are, but definitely a huge thank you to that person who jumped in to pull him from the cab of his truck. It is just scary as you see this video. The fire is so intense.
Yeah, this is quite amazing. You see what the South Metro fire crews are doing. They're using that specialized vehicle there, and I think right there is one of the tires that is still on fire, and that's a specialized vehicle there that's spraying that foam all over this tanker fire, and you could see that the front, this should be the engine compartment right there, and the rest of the cab is gone, so it could have been a tragic situation if that driver wasn't pulled out, even though he has some burns. At least he's alive, which is amazing when you're looking at this. And with the amount of fuel that is in that tanker, it just continues to burn and burn and burn. And that's the only way that firefighters can get in there. That's just burning so hot. They're throwing the foam on there as best they can and try to knock that fire out. And hopefully they will be able to do that. It's too bad they can't do it from the side, but it started melting that metal there. I've been looking at some of the side roads. If we can go to my traffic map, I want to show you some of the traffic, because we've had, even from my sister-in-law who is down there at Orchard Athletic Club, she said that traffic right there in front of Quebec, right between Orchard and Bellevue, is at a standstill. Nobody's moving.
I'm sure.
And right now the southbound side is heavy, coming in from just after Broadway through University, where it's just a parking lot from that point. And a lot of folks are trying to bail off at Broadway, University, Colorado Boulevard. And I could see, like here at Colorado going over to Hamden, that red there, that is the traffic right by the Overland Golf Course, and that is starting to back up pretty significantly, obviously. Here's 225, where that's backed up all the way to Parker Road, so you can still go north, and north is wide open after 225. And then you can see the roads here in the Denver Tech Center, where the epicenter is here. And
right.
That made me believe it's some kind of a different based fuel, and obviously very flammable.
And what's crazy is it is now 1:04, and this happened shortly before noon. So this has been going on, and you can still see some really dark flames dark smoke rather, and the flames right there, burning for more than an hour. You're looking at video right now from Air Tracker 7 flying high above. Obviously, they have to be a little careful because of some of that thick black smoke up there.
Yeah, no, they should be able to get around that. Okay. You could see looking straight down. This is what I was talking about. These compartments, these different compartments in this truck. So it's not like one big tanker carrying one type of fuel or a really long tanker. And you can see this is the remnants of one of the tires right there that is still smoldering at this point, and some of the foam and the damage here to not only the center divide, but also, because this is the northbound side, this is where the cab should be. right there. This is the tailpipe. You can see the muffler for the vehicle right there. That would be where the steering wheel should be. Here's the engine compartment right there. And so this is the start of where the tanker is. There's this section, and then there's these 4 sections right there. This one, this one, this one, this one, that continues to burn right here. And that's why it's such a unique situation to see a truck like this. Like Kellen was talking about, where it was one of those interesting trucks when you're looking at it, so it's going to draw some attention as you're going 65 miles an hour down I-25, and then all of a sudden you have a tire that blows out, nothing you can do about that, and then the driver, it looks like, lost control, went into the concrete barrier, and then skidded to that point, and then here we are now with the situation that continues with the interstate still closed down.
Yeah, so we want to get to Jason right now. We have some video from an eyewitness prior to the fire really taking place. So you're kind of looking a little far away from this video. I don't know. Kirsten, I'm checking in with my producer. Do we have audio on this video, or is it just video that we're going to be looking at here? Okay, it's just video here, so there's no sound. But as you're looking, you can see the tanker right there in the middle, and we're starting to see a little bit of black smoke right there. And then it starts to get more intense. And I don't know if we're going to keep watching here. This is the first time I've seen this video, as you are watching it as well, if we'll be able to witness one of the explosions that happened.
Yeah, and you can see, obviously, there were some drivers that were stopping that probably wanted to offer help. There's a bunch of others that were trying to escape because they were concerned of the explosion as the fire continues. You can see it was on the northbound side. The southbound side, drivers are slowing down but continuing to drive through. And then I'm looking at there's the fire where it becomes more intense right there. And I'm still not seeing, well, it looks like there were some people right there maybe trying to, right there there's 2 dark cars just to the left of where the fire is. It looked like they were right up there by where the driver was and then got out of there. But this is the first time, like you, that we're seeing this video. Right,
and as we're watching this, you can definitely see the intensity of this really, really dark black smoke. So there's not a lot more video left of this. And right there is where it ends. I'm sure that witness, though, pretty freaked out by it. This is a live look from Air Tracker 7 of the scene right here. Jason, I'm going to let you continue on for just a quick second. I need to change some batteries in my microphone.
Okay, and we're looking right down from Air Tracker 7 still at this scene here. At north and southbound I-25 to reset here is just about 7 minutes after 1 o'clock this afternoon, and this has been going on for about an hour and a quarter now. I'm seeing some traffic here right next to the Maryland Hinckley building right here at Orchard on the west side of Orchard and I-25. I'm seeing some traffic move here, so it looks like they're just trying to get traffic off and away from I-25 and let it just dissipate into the Denver Tech Center, where it's still a bit of a gridlock situation. This is the eastbound side of Orchard right there, where you see no traffic is moving. They could go on to southbound from that point and head out, but it looks like they're trying to continue east on Orchard and get through the Denver Tech Center, which is obviously a bad idea.
Southbound on-ramp onto I-25 is also closed down. So if you're heading on 225, you can go north on I-25, but you cannot go southbound, so that's also causing delays on 225. Now, just about an hour ago, we were able to speak to an eyewitness. He works in one of the buildings, which is right nearby where this was taking place. He was able to see the whole thing really from the beginning. Obviously not until the end. In fact, he finally said that it was just too intense there, that he decided he was going to leave and head home from work. But he's looking to send us some video. He did do a live interview with us, so let's listen into that interview again. This was about an hour ago, but before we get to that, we want to go to Denver 7 reporter Sally Mamdouh. She is live on scene. Sally?
We are live on the scene of that fuel tanker fire, and I just got an update here from South Metro. They tell me the fire is now out, but still they're not done with the scene right behind me. They still got a couple hours to go. And let's take it again to the public information officer here with South Metro, Eric Hurst. Eric, what's going on?
So the fire isn't out yet. It's definitely being controlled, but we're making efforts now to actually extinguish the fire. So earlier when we spoke, the idea was to let the fuel burn, but the concern with that is we don't know how long that would go on. So in the effort of trying to get traffic moving as quickly as we can, we're going to extinguish the fire and then work on the fuel problem after that, which is going to be containing what's already spilt and offloading what's still left in the truck.
So how do you do that, though, and open up traffic again?
So ultimately what it's going to be is extinguishing the fire, and then the fuel will have dirt or sand or some kind of absorbent laid on top of it that's laying on the road right now. They'll scoop that up into barrels or trucks to remove it, and then take out whatever fuel is left in the vehicle itself that's parked on the road. So really it's just an effort to try and expedite the process to get the highway reopened.
So right now you're in the process of extinguishing the fire. You weren't doing that in the past couple of hours. You were trying to contain it from spreading further, correct?
Exactly. The idea was to let the fuel burn itself out, essentially, so that we didn't have fuel spread. But the concern with that is we could go hours with this fuel trying to burn itself out, and that's too unpredictable for us. So the fire is going to be extinguished, and then at that point we're going to work on picking up the fuel from there.
And are you certain that this is not going to pose any threats because you're expediting the process here?
No. So putting the fire out is just that. It's putting the flames away. We won't see flames. We won't see smoke anymore. And then at that point, it's absorbing whatever fuel has ran out of the vehicle. So they're taking steps right now on the storm drains to make sure that fuel doesn't get into the stormwater system. And then they'll use absorbent to lay on top of all of the fuel, all of the foam, and then start scooping it up to get it out.
Eric, thank you so much for that update.
You're welcome. We have one other update as well. Greenwood Village Police were able to discover that the light rail lines have been damaged by the fire. So the heat actually melted the overhead lines. RTD's working on that, and they don't have an estimated time either.
All right, thank you so much. So as you heard, this has caused damage to the RTD as well, who shut down several of their lines. They're now controlling this fire. They haven't been doing that for the past couple of hours, but this is in order to expedite the process here and open up these roads for the anticipated rush hour here that's happening in the next couple of hours. We'll continue to bring you updates on this developing story, so stay with us right here at Denver 7. Dale, back to you.
All right, Sally, thank you.
You know, and Dale, we were just talking about, I was just mentioning, hey, you know what? We don't know how long you're going to have to plan your commute around this. That's a big clue, folks. If we've got lines with RTD potentially melted or damaged or who knows what through the tech center, major artery that many of us use to commute back and forth, those lines are damaged. It's definitely not going to be repaired by your evening commute this evening. Potentially into tomorrow, you're going to want to make alternate plans to get to work and get around town. You see the fire still burning there on the cab. Again, I-25 still closed in both directions and will be for the immediate future. Dale interviewed earlier a great witness that we want to bring back into the mix here, Chris Maudlin, who really gave us our first clear account of what happened once the tire blew on this fuel tanker.
We do want to go now to an eyewitness who works right nearby in one of the buildings, was able to see this as it happened. Chris Maudlin joins us on the phone right now. Chris, thanks for joining us. What did you see?
You know, it was quite an amazing sight to see. A large truck started smoking between Orchard and Bellevue, heading on I-25, and as you see it smoking, he happened to lose his brakes and slam into the median. From slamming into the median, instant flames engulfed the entire truck as the driver was still in the truck. For about 5 to 7 minutes, actually probably less than that, literally the other road crew were able to help pull the gentleman out of the truck as his leg was engulfed in flames. One of the road crew was able to help put out that flame on the driver's leg and kind of carry him to safety. As that was happening, the entire truck was being not only leaking that fireball hazard bio-waste onto the highway, but was catching in complete flames. So for that gentleman, whoever that may be, to save that gentleman's life, and really a heroic act. So thankful to the Denver road crew from that. And then as you saw, the flames continued to just engulf and catch on fire as the explosion started to go off. And there was about 3 to 4 multiple large explosions with tires flying in the road. It was quite a scary sight to see.
So the road crew, were there people doing work on the interstate right there that just happened to be there to help the driver?
It appeared to be so, or as the construction on I-25, they may have saw what had happened and drove up to come help. It was one of the two, but it was great action on those people.
Well, thankfully.